In this class, we'll start with a somatic presencing practice before moving into some really gentle, easy hatha yoga. We'll explore the inner work behind how we can release some of the pressure and judgment that makes us feel like we're failing our life, because our worth should never be measured by what we can or can't do. Start by separating your knees wide, big toes touching, and take as much time as you need coming down into child's pose. Really spend some time noticing what parts of your body are comfortable and which might want to move or adjust in any way for maximum comfort. Once you find your position, start taking some deep breaths down into your belly. Feel the air going all the way down as far as it can go. Maybe hold for a few seconds and then feel it emptying out of you like a balloon deflating. Maybe hold at the bottom with no air in your lungs for a bit before inhaling once again. Keep going at your own pace. There's no right or wrong. Whatever breathing feels good is all you need to be doing right now. Just take a moment to reflect on how we are expected to be capable, energetic, to even be happy all the time. Society celebrates when people feel good, when people do more, achieve more. And in doing this, we receive the message that rest and having limitations is bad. We're told that the only way to make it is to work harder, to push through our limits. We celebrate people who achieve amazing things because they push past their human limits. Maybe we're even judged for needing more rest, for not having as much capacity as others around us. Pretty much everything in modern society tells us that we need to be better, stronger, or more capable to be good enough. Start bringing your breath back to normal. No hurry. Really take your time in this class. This class is all about undoing this idea that we have to rush, that we have to be more than we actually are. So all of the cueing that I give, really make sure to take a moment before you just go straight into it and just check in with yourself. Allow yourself to move slower than you normally would. If you're still comfy in child's pose, you can stay there. Otherwise, come up onto your knees or maybe into a comfortable seat. We'll be doing some somatic exploration for the next few minutes, so just make sure that you're comfortable. As I was just speaking about what society expects from us, the expectations that are imposed upon us, whether it's directly or whether we receive those messages in a more subtle, indirect way, I want you to notice what came up for you. See if there are any sensations inside your body that came up as you were thinking about these things. Not stories in your mind, but actual feelings in your body. Is there a particular part of your body that tenses, where you feel some sort of energy or activation? When you think about how we are celebrated for pushing past our limits and punished for having limits. How does it feel to be expected to be able to do things and not be able to meet those expectations? Where do you feel that in your body? What happens in your body when you feel incapable or not good enough? If there's one particular area coming to your attention, I invite you to place your hands there. If you have a pillow or something soft nearby, you can place that there instead. And just give it a little bit of pressure. We're not trying to get rid of this feeling. We're trying to give it space so it can be processed and we can move on. So try to just stay with it without changing it, even though it probably doesn't feel good. Your mind might try to distract you from the discomfort. If this happens, come back to where your hand is, where your pillow is. Open your eyes if they were closed, and see if you can bring some more awareness back into that place. Notice how the pressure feels against it. Notice if it wants to move, if the sensation wants to get bigger, if it wants to spread into a different part of your body. And just see how much space you can give it to just be. But just trying to challenge yourself just a little bit. See if you can tolerate being with this sensation just a little longer. For the next half a minute, just see where it wants to take you. Now, if your eyes were closed, open them gently and take a look around the room. Just noticing, showing your body how right now you're not under any immediate threat. Right now, there's no danger. Right now, your body is safe. Looking behind you, looking up and down, really just showing your body where you are currently. And that right now, you're just fine. Give yourself some gentle pats or squeezes. Maybe do a little wiggle or a stretch. Maybe take a nice big inhale and let it out with a soft sigh. Being with these feelings is really difficult. So you should be proud of yourself for staying with it, even if you only could for just a moment. You did really well. And again, just completely taking your time allowing your body to move at a pace that feels good for it. So when you're ready, we'll move into our next pose, which is going to be puppy dog. So from wherever you are currently, come into a tabletop position. Bring your hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips, and just breathe and arrive here. When you're ready, keep your hips stacked over your knees, so don't let your hips move. And start to walk your hands forward as far as is comfortable. Allow your heart to melt towards the floor, but make sure to keep your arms just gently activated, supporting your spine. You can rest either your forehead or your chin on the mat and just see how that feels. Remember to make any adjustments and remember to breathe. Out in the world, everybody hides their hopelessness. We very rarely get to see other people being crushed by life. We only see the brave, happy face they bring out into society. Our culture values endless progress and devalues rest and reflection. People so rarely talk about how great it is to rest, how great it is to take a moment to reflect. We're celebrated for our achievements. We're celebrated for what we do in the world, rather than the moments where we're just being. Through this, we receive the message that we should never feel hopeless, that we should always be capable, that we should always be doing more and achieving more, and we should never question that. We should never stop to think, I can't do it. We never hear about people who have achieved things who originally doubted themselves. No one ever talks about how hopeless or overwhelmed or incapable or doubtful they feel. So we think that if they're all doing it, there must just be something wrong with me. We must just not have enough energy, enough motivation, enough drive, enough skill, enough anything to be what they can all be. Engage your core a little, press into the mat, and slowly in your own time, walk your hands back up and make your way into a seated position. Come into a butterfly pose, feet together, knees out to either side. Then swing your right leg behind you, bringing your right knee to rest against your left inner foot. Keep your sit bones rooted to the ground here. Inhale and lengthen your spine. Then exhale and keep your hips still as you twist to the left. Bring your hands down to support you. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, twist a little deeper. What we don't realize is that life is really hard. And we're meant to have limits. We're meant to need rest. We're meant to feel doubt, to be insecure, to get things wrong, take a break and then try again. It's just a part of life. It's just that we've been sold this lie because everybody else makes their life look easy and fun on the outside. There's not one person in this world who has had a completely easy life. I guarantee it. Everyone goes through different struggles. We just don't notice because they're not always the same struggles that we go through. Inhale and come back up to center. And just, again, taking your time to switch sides. Coming back into the twist on the opposite side now. So just because we can't see or understand how someone else might be struggling, it doesn't mean that we're the only ones. And therefore, if everyone struggles in some way, that means there's actually nothing wrong with us. We were never less capable. We were never flawed or broken or less than others. We just forgot that we're allowed to struggle. We forgot that we're allowed to make mistakes, to mess things up, to need rest, and still get up and try again. And it's not our fault that we forgot that. Other people and society taught us that, but it was never true. On an inhale, slowly coming back up out of the twist, and just make your way back to a neutral seat. Take a minute to make your way down onto your belly. Once you're here, stack your forearms on top of each other and rest your forehead on top of your forearms. Make any little adjustments that you need to be nice and comfortable. Then separate your legs a little and turn your toes facing outwards. As you breathe, notice how the inhale expands the back of your body and the exhale shrinks it back down. Spend a minute noticing how the breath affects the back of your body as you lay here, and what that feels like in your body. We're actually all more capable than we think. The only reason that we feel incapable is because we're expected to be superhuman rather than just human. What we're not taught is that it's actually completely healthy to feel overwhelmed by challenges, and that life will always include challenges. So just because something isn't easy doesn't mean we can't do it, or that we're not good enough to do it. We're meant to find things difficult because that's the only way to learn. Think about a kid learning to ride a bike. Of course it's going to be hard. It's going to be scary. they'll feel like they can't do it at first. But does that mean they're behind? Does that mean they just weren't meant to ride a bike? That they should just stop and accept that they can't do it? I mean, that's completely up to them to decide. But my point is, we've been sold this lie that if we're not immediately good at something, then we're wasting our time trying. That we should somehow be better at it by now. That we don't have time to try and fail and build our skills from the ground up. But that's all a lie. Everyone has to build skills from the ground up. And we shouldn't focus so much on the end result. That's another lie that we've been programmed to believe. All we actually need to focus on is the one next step. When a kid is learning how to ride a bike, they're not thinking about how they want to be this amazing grown-up bike rider one day. I mean, maybe some of them are, but no, they're just thinking, can I get from point A to point B? Can I stay up on my bike? And once they complete that step, then they look to the next one. All the while feeling proud of themselves. Feeling proud of themselves for getting back up and trying. Take a final few breaths here. And when you're ready, roll over onto your back. Inhale and bring both knees into your chest. And exhale, bring your knees out wide, coming into a sort of happy baby. Now maybe don't go into a full happy baby. Just do a halfway happy baby. So instead of grabbing your feet, see what it feels like to grab the outer edges of your knees. Instead of sending your feet up to the sky, see what it feels like to just keep your feet down low. And while you're here, maybe your feet want to move around a little bit. Maybe you want to rock side to side. What we don't realize is that we can actually do things halfway. We don't have to master something or reach a certain level for it to be worthwhile. We can just halfway it, then stop. We can just do one thing, then stop. We have so much all or nothing thinking that if we can't do it properly, there's no point doing it at all. But we're not these superhuman, never need rest, endless motivation and pushing type of people. Nobody is actually that. So as you're in this pose, see how it feels to only do something halfway. See how you still get some of the benefits. And maybe even some new benefits you wouldn't have gotten if you'd done a full happy baby. On an inhale, bring your knees back into your chest and squeeze. Exhale and release everything down. Take a moment to reflect on what stood out to you in this class. Was there something that maybe helped you see a new perspective? How did it feel to somatically experience your feelings of overwhelm and incapability? I hope you realize that maybe you're not as useless as you think. Maybe you're just a normal human with limits. Maybe you can just take one small step from here, and that's actually good enough. This video was healing for the pattern of overwhelm. Each of the classes on this channel are designed for a very specific pattern of consciousness, which you can find more about in my upcoming book. Thank you for watching. Namaste.